Hello, welcome to KidTime. Today is July 19th, 2020. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Liz and I am the Director of Children's Ministries here at Our Redeemer's Lutheran Church. I'm so glad that you were able to join us today. Today we'll start with the materials that you'll need for our lesson. Okay, so the first one, we're going to be doing the worksheet called Jacob Wrestles, and you'll need the stickers and the worksheet for this. You can find the stickers and the worksheet below the KidTime video on the orlclive.com page. So obviously the stickers aren't going to be sticky, right? Right. So what you'll need to do is cut out those stickers, and then you'll need to have some glue ready so that you can stick them on during the activity on the worksheet. Okay. Next, you'll need crayons, markers, or colored pencils. And lastly, you'll need a permanent and colorful marker. Okay. So for example, I have a green Sharpie. Okay. All right. Let's start by welcoming everybody today. Okay. So we'll sing this song twice. Both times I'll use my name. During the second round, though, I want you to sing using your name during the time that I use my name. Does that make sense? Alrighty, here we go. Liz is here. Liz is here. Clap your hands and give a cheer. Liz is in God's house today. Hooray, 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 hooray. Alrighty, now it's your turn. You ready? Let's do this. Liz is here. Liz is here. Clap your hands and give a cheer. Liz is in God's house today. Hooray, 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 hooray. Wonderful. You guys are so talented. Okie dokie. So let's get started. We're going to read a little story from the Bible today. Let me show you some pictures. What do you guys think the man in the picture is thinking or feeling? What do you think he's thinking or feeling? Yeah, that's right. He looks pretty happy, right? He has a big grin on his face. The man in this story is named Jacob. Jacob had been on a long trip. It was important for Jacob to know that God was with him and that God loved him. Jacob needed to know that God would never, ever, ever leave him, no matter what, right? While he was sleeping, God let Jacob know in a very surprising way that God was with Jacob and loved him very much. Wow. Well, let's learn a little bit more. I'm going to read the story to you. Jacob wrestles. Ooh, this sounds interesting. Jacob was on his way home from a long trip and stopped to sleep by a river one night. During the night, a man woke Jacob up and began to wrestle him. Jacob was surprised. Who is this? He wondered. What does he want? After wrestling all night, the man begged Jacob to let him go. No, said Jacob, not until you have blessed me. The man asked, what is your name? Jacob told the man his name. Then the man blessed Jacob and said, now you will have another name, Israel. It means you have wrestled with God. What a surprise! Could it really be true? Jacob had not really wrestled with a man. Jacob had wrestled with God, and God blessed him. Jacob hurried the rest of the way home. What a story he had to tell his family. Wow, that's pretty amazing. He wrestled with God. Now raise your hand if you've ever wrestled with somebody. Maybe your brother, your sister, a friend at school, even though maybe you're not supposed to, mom or dad. Yeah, absolutely. How crazy would it be if you found out that you wrestled with God? Pretty amazing, I would say. So what all happened in this story today? Okay, so we had Jacob. He was wrestling, and he said, you can't leave me until you tell me that God will be with me always. And then this man renamed him Israel, meaning you wrestled with God. Wow. It's kind of a different story, right? So if you think it was a different story, put your thumb up. Different meaning kind of weird or unusual. I thought it was a little different than our usual story. So how was it that God showed Jacob that he would never leave him? Yeah, he wrestled him all night long, right? That's pretty amazing. And then he gave him a new name. Wow, can you imagine having somebody give you a new name? I can't. I mean, I've had my name my whole life. Liz, right? I can't imagine somebody like God coming down and saying, you are now Molly. That would be really hard. I think that would be really hard. Do you guys remember what was that new special name that Jacob was given? That's right. It was Israel. His new name was Israel. God gave Jacob the new name Israel to help him remember that God was always with him. Our names are always with us, and so is God. Alrighty. It's time to get out your worksheet, and we're going to need stickers, so make sure you have your stickers cut out and a glue stick ready. So what do you guys see here? What do you see here? Yep, so we see a little bit of a path. Okay, who's this? Yeah, this is Jacob, whose name became Israel. So we're going to pretend to be out of breath from running. He looks like he's out of breath, doesn't he? What do you think Jacob, now named Israel, told his family when he got home? Oh. What do you think he told them? I imagine it was something like, hi, Mom and Dad. So I just met God and we wrestled all night long. And then, in order to prove that he was with me all the time, he gave me a new name. So my name's Israel now. That would be crazy, huh? What do you think your parents would say if you said something like that? Okay. It would be pretty wild. How do you guys think Jacob felt to learn that God will never leave him, no matter what? Pretty great, right? That would be so exciting. But did you know that we also have that promise? God is always with us, no matter what. That's what's amazing. So let's get Jacob, who's renamed Israel, home along the path so he can tell his family his amazing story and tell them that God is with them all the time too. So let's look at the path here. Okay. We need to add some stickers to it first to show the things that happened to Jacob when God came to visit. So we're going to start with Jacob sleeping by the river. Okay, do you guys see that one? And there's not a picture of a river, but it's Jacob sleeping. Okay, so it looks like this. Okay, so take that sticker and we're going to add that. So if he's by the river, do you guys think we should put it by the river? Probably. Let's put that by the river. Okay, so Jacob's sleeping by the river. Okay, right there. Talked to God. Okay, if he's talking to God. Which picture is him talking to God, do you think? Yeah, I think it's the one with his mouth open with really a lot of excitement on his face, okay? So let's put that along our path somewhere and you just can kind of put it wherever you want, okay? Next, he was given a new name. And what was that new name? That's right, it was Israel. So that's the last one here. Okay, so pick up Israel. We'll put that along the path, probably right around here-ish. Okay. And then he ran home. Okay, so that's the picture of him running right there. And we'll probably put that somewhere up here. All right, so there we go. You guys can copy that down right now. Pause the video now if you need to do that. Okay, now we get to trace the path to help Jacob renamed Israel back to his family. All right, this is the hard part. So get out your crayon, color pencil, marker, whatever you choose, and see if you can trace that path all the way home, okay? So we're gonna start right here. So I'll let you guys work on it. Let's see if you figure it out. I'll work on my path, see how I do. Ooh. Oh. Okay. How's everybody doing? Give you guys a couple more seconds, see if you get that. You can pause the video now if you want, so that I don't ruin the maze for you. All right, so here's how I started here, I went around here, up here, around here, made sure to go there, and then back down, and then I went home. It's kind of hard to see. There you go. So I'm sure all of you took some path. All of the paths made it out eventually to get Jacob, renamed Israel, back home to tell his parents the wonderful and amazing news. All right, so like I said, pause now if you need to make sure that your path is done. All right, we're gonna move on to the next part. So you can go ahead and flip over your worksheet, and we're gonna be on the page that's all blue. So how did Jacob learn that God would never leave him? That's right, God gave him a new name, Israel. Where did that happen? Where were they at? Do you remember? There's your hint. Blue. They were by the river. So when they were next to the water, so here's our water. Let's pretend like we have some water in front of us, right? When they were next to the water, God told Jacob God would never, ever leave him. God gave Jacob a new name to help him remember that God was always with him. So he does the same thing for us. Did you know that? Can you think of a time that there's water involved at church? When do we see water at church? That's right, we see it when somebody gets baptized. So when we are baptized, water is placed on our heads, and God promises to always be with us, no matter what. God also gives us a new name with that water. That name is Child of God. God never leaves us, and neither does the name Child of God. We are all children of God forever. Pretty amazing. So let's look at the space up here at the top of the page. What is around it? What are these little things? Yeah, those are called water droplets. They remind us of our baptism. Every time we see them, we remember that God will never leave us, and that God gave us a new name. What is our new name? Do you remember that? I just told you. That's right, it's Child of God. I want you to use crayons or markers or colored pencils to draw a picture of yourself in this space between the water droplets to remind you about being baptized. Okay, so pause the video now and go ahead and do that. Okay, I'm doing a quick draw of myself. It's not going to be nearly as beautiful as your guys's. I know that. Okay. All right, so there we are. There I am. Drew a picture of myself inside the water droplets. I bet your pictures are so much better because I know you guys are beautiful artists. So who's a child of God? That's right, we all are. Everybody who's baptized in the church, in the Christian church, is a child of God forever. And God will never let us go. We are always with him. Now I have a question. Have you ever seen a baptism? Yeah. So this year I got to experience a baptism firsthand because my daughter got baptized. It was so beautiful and so amazing. It was a lot of fun too. But it was just a really neat experience. We had a lot of friends and family come together to watch her get baptized. And it was really special. So who do you know that was baptized? And how did that happen? Talk about that with your family at home. remember the baptism. Maybe it's a sibling. Maybe it's a family member. It's a good time to remember and think about those baptisms. All right, so we're going to move on to the last part of our worksheet today. God will never leave me. So we're going to look at these pictures. These are all places that you might go, right? Okay, so we have the grocery store, church, a park, your bedroom, outdoor, ooh, lightning, scary, okay? So God goes with us wherever we go because God has promised never to leave us. So I want you to circle each picture of a place that God is with you. Okay, so right now, take your crayon, color, pencil, or marker and circle all of the places on here that you know that God is always with you. I have a question. Is God with you even during scary times like a lightning storm or a tornado or an earthquake? He is, absolutely. Sometimes that's the time when we might think about him the most, right? So if you circled all of the pictures, raise your hand. Yep, I did too. I circled all of the pictures because God is always with us. Why do you guys think God promises to be with us all the time? It's a big question. That's right, because he loves us. God promises to be with us because he loves us so very, very much. He's with us everywhere we go because he loves us. So what I want you to do is take that wonderful, colorful, permanent marker. We know permanent means it's not going to go away. Just like God, he's always with us. He'll never go away. And I want you to trace the outside of your heart. Okay, trace the outside of your heart. See that white area? Trace the outside of your heart to remember that God is always with us. And if you want, you're welcome to just color in the whole white part. Okay? God is always with us. And I bet you anything you guys came up with some more colorful and beautiful hearts than I did. Alrighty. So Jacob learned that God would never leave him when they were by the river, right? One way that God shows us that God is always with us is with water too. So what is that way? We talked about it just a little bit ago. That's right. It's called baptism. What does God promise us when we are baptized? That we are his children. We are children of God and that he will always be with us. So I want you to always remember that God is always with you. Just like Jacob, renamed Israel. All right. I want you guys to put your hands together in your favorite way to pray. So, and I want you to repeat my words and my actions. Hello, God. Thanks for always being with us. Thanks for this great wide world. We love you. Mwah. Amen. Thank you so much for joining me for KidTime today. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. We won't have a new KidTime next week. This video will stay up for the next 2 weeks. Bye.